What is going on, comic fans? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mark. This is Legion of Comics, and I have never been this nervous to make a video. I've never taken a gamble on something like this in this way whatsoever before, but I decided to do it. And this could be the biggest mistake I ever made buying a comic, or it could possibly be one of the biggest scores I made. We're going to find out together, and we're going to go through it. Go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up. Let's go. So there's a little bit of ground to cover with this one. So I do want to go and shout out Big Time Collectibles, Justin's Comics, ABX Comics and Games. Check out the links below. Fantastic resources for comic books, grading, all that good stuff. But yeah, like I said, I'm nervous. I'm nervous as hell to do this. So I've been after a lot of books. I get asked often, like, what's on my get list? What keys am I hunting? And having grown up in this hobby, my dad has been collecting since 1962. Comics have just always been around. I have a wide net of characters I love, comics I want to acquire. So I'm never specifically really honed in on too many things at one time. I'm normally only just like playing patient, waiting till the deals come around, keep a wide net. So I'm never, I have this thing where I hate paying fair market value for stuff, especially big keys. I love being able to, go back and forth with vendors at shows and get great prices on stuff, or just hold out till I find a book that I want at a crazy good price. And I was on eBay, which I do regularly. I love eBay. Let me go and put that out there. I love buying comics on eBay. And there's a specific book from Charlton Comics. If you watch the channel, you know I'm a big Charlton Comics guy. You know, that's where we got our Watchmen characters from. But I've picked up pretty much all the keys, all those major first appearance for the Charlton Comics superheroes. Even at Heroes Con, I picked up the first appearance of the Question. I've got the first appearance of Ted Cord Blue Beetle, first appearance of Johnny Thunder canon, and I got the first appearance of Nightshade. I've pretty much gone through in Peacemaker. The only one that was left to get, which is by far the hardest one to get, is most definitely Captain Atom's first appearance. Now, Captain Atom is a pretty big, well-known DC Comics character. McFarlane has figures of him. He's even been announced on all the stuff for the upcoming Justice League Unlimited, Justice League Unlimited comic series. The return of the Justice League to DC Comics was a big thing, a big announcement at San Diego Comic-Con a couple weekends ago, and Captain Atom was listed on the roster, and that had me thinking this past weekend, let me check back in on his first appearances. So this is typically a 4-figure book all day long. And I'm at that point, and I've been at that point for a while. I've spoke to my buddy Rob's Fat Sacks about this. Like, if I can find it for like 1K flat, I would probably dive on it if it was like a right copy for that price, because they tend to go from anywhere between $1,000 upwards to thousands of dollars for low to mid-grade copies. And if you look at some of the listing prices for it here, that's what it's listed right now. A raw copy, $13.99.95. There's a 2.5 for $500. That one like get you thinking. You know, it's pretty low grade, but it gets you thinking. And then they had one that was a 4.5 for $700, and then one listed for $950. So it looks like they've come down just a little bit. And man, oh man, did this get me really thinking, because I saw one listed for $450 raw. It was a pretty decent looking copy. So I messaged the seller. This is the seller right here, Crown Point Toys. I messaged the seller with an offer of $400, and then I just kind of went about my day assuming that I might get a counter offer or get ignored, as the case a lot of times. I mean, it wasn't a big ask, just was looking to get $50 off, you know. And immediately it was accepted, payment went through, and I'm like, yes. But before I even sent that offer, I saw a lot of the standard red flags that you see that makes you wonder about things. So I did a little bit of research, and what caught my attention first is he has a seller's feedback of 99.5. So with eBay, from my experience, what I've learned is you have a 99.8 or better, or I typically ignore your listing. I went through and looked. I saw that he had over 20,000 items sold and over 3,000 followers of his eBay store. And being that he's a toy store, I've seen this before as well, where toy dealers tend to price comics less because it's not their wheelhouse and they're just trying to move them. I looked through his other items. He had tons of toys, box toys, loose toys, new toys, old toys, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. And then I looked through his reviews and feedbacks. I intentionally went to the negative ones, and there were a lot of them. Now, granted, the guy's done 20,000 plus sold items. I read through a handful of them, and most of the negative feedback came from toy purchases where it looked like a misunderstanding between what they thought they were buying and what they received. A lot of times with toy stuff, the packaging, the box makes all the difference in the world, and just a slit piece of tape can be a deal breaker. But I didn't see anything about comics. I didn't see any reason to be too turned off yet. So I went to the positive feedback, which was overwhelming. There's literally more than you can count, all saying the same thing. Good seller, bought numerous things, would buy again, great shipping, all that stuff, great communication, everything. Couple of the negative stuff said that there was no communication and all that. So after I made the purchase, after it went through, I tested the waters. I sent him a message immediately saying, thank you for the purchase. I look forward to adding it to my personal collection. And I got an immediate response within 5-10 minutes of just an emoji of the okay, which was a good sign. He's communicating. That's all I wanted to see, that there was like a pulse in the messages. So I wasn't worried at that point. I ordered this on a Saturday, so I had to wait till no less than Monday and cross my fingers for shipping. Needless to say, tracking was provided on Monday. Here it is Thursday, and the package is in hand. So now I'm nervous as hell if it's the correct book and if it's intact. Because if you look here at some of these comps, last sold 5.0 for $1,000. Last sold on a raw copy for $921. So look at the way that raw copy is listed. Space Adventures number 33. Very nice. First app, Captain Adam, Ditko art, Charlton, 1965. So here's my actual purchase listing. It has the exact same listing, which I can only assume because I don't sell on eBay. I've only ever sold one item on eBay, and didn't even have a printer at my house. It was this whole weird thing, but I just had something I wanted to get rid of. It was ironically enough a toy, and so I don't really know. I do know that I was able to do this thing where I just took an existing listing and it copied over where I can just use it was like a form being pre-filled out. So that's what it looks like happened. You can see that it was listed at $450. Best offer was accepted, and that was on, what is that date? What is that? July 27th. So my whole mentality was with this is eBay has a 100% buyer back guarantee. Despite if a seller says that they don't accept returns, eBay doesn't care. So I figured I'll risk it to get the biscuit. I'll take a gamble on this. It's pretty much all it can really do is break my heart for a brief little bit here if there's anything wrong with this. And then if it's correct, we can actually look at the potential that I have with this book, which so it's in a big box, paper, and then it's in a secondary little box. So this is packed fantastically so far. We'll see how it's packed inside of this. Gentle touch refills. That's what I'm talking about. I need that gentle touch. You know what I'm saying? Paper wrapped up nice in here. See, this isn't traditional Gemini mailer stuff, but the care and consideration absolutely went into this. This is legitimate packing paper. This guy does this for a living, clearly. Oh my God, I'm nervous. Oh, cardboard on both sides. So yeah, definitely. All right, there we go. Books down. Oh, so here we go. Ooh, there it is. So that's definitely the right book. And if you look at the back, there's a $300 price tag on the back. So I'm wondering if this guy has like an actual store where this was potentially listed or something, or if that was from before he got it. So we definitely have to page count this. Staples are intact, are not rusted. Now you can see it's got some spine wear, perfectly fine with me. Back is pretty clean. A little dirt up here. That was another thing. There was tons of pictures listed in this. That's why I knew that dirt was going to be there. It's the correct same listing. So let's see here. first appearance of Captain Atom here. And luckily there's numbers on the pages here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Next story, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yo, and check it out, guys. The first appearance of Captain Atom in comics. Ooh, nerve-wracking here. I don't see anything missing, anything ripped out. So this is from 1960, and it feels every bit of it. These Charlton comics had absolutely atrocious paper quality. I have a whole video on Charlton that goes through a lot of the details of this company and stuff, so you should definitely check that out. But it's definitely intact. So $400 intact. Yo, I'm still sweating because that's just a crazy get. $400 intact. Let's look at some of the prices on this thing. So I pulled these prices off of Cover Price, which it's a decent, it's definitely a decent place to use. It's not the greatest, but it's definitely a pretty decent place to use for a quick glance. Now this is definitely needs a clean and a press. It needs some real TLC, which I'm going to have done to it for sure. But according to Cover Price, as long as this thing hits a 4.0, this is absolutely a great deal. So 4.5 or better, I'm in the good. And look how this is where it gets really crazy. The book doesn't sell a lot. It doesn't move a lot, but a 5.0, if it hits that, that's $1,000 according to Cover Price. Now 5.5, hasn't been sales data in a long time, but a 6.0 is $1,200. So the value on this book skyrockets pretty fast. So this could potentially, with the right clean and press and working out on this thing, get this thing it's a 5.0, 6. Like this can easily hit a 4-digit book. And you saw some of those previous comps, like a 5.0 went for $1,000. And that was just the other day, like a month before last. So ridiculously expensive book. One of those oddities you don't see move a lot. And it completes my Charlton superhero first appearances. And yeah, I'm still sweating. So now I want to do a follow-up video to this down the road, and we'll see where it lands. But I'm curious, like, have y'all ever risked it with some sellers? Like, all the red flags were there, but I did a little bit of looking and took an educated wish, and I just went for it. So I'm kind of beside myself right now that's the book that was in the picture that showed up. So huge shout out to Crown Point Toys. So that's definitely 99.5 is outside of my comfort zone, but it looks like it paid off this time. It definitely paid off this time. So I'll do a follow-up video after I get this thing clean pressed and graded, and we'll see where it all plays out and where it goes from here. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, hit the join button, become a channel member. Until next time, we are Legion.